we are streaming, I believe. Okay, so F1 Manager 2022. So, a while back I did a playthrough of Motorsport Manager, which honestly is probably one of my favourite management games of a long time. And I do have a tendency to play a lot of spreadsheet managers, mostly football related. I did a couple of things with Agan back in the day, and obviously he commented on all my Motorsport Manager videos telling me I was doing the wrong strategy. So now that there's an official version of one, a fully licensed version of one, we're going to do a little run through of this. I have sunk about 20 hours into a playthrough, obviously Alfa Romeo, because that's what all the background is at the moment. Honestly, the game seems a little on the easy side, but we'll see how this goes when we actually go right to the back to start things off. Anyway, we don't care about the autosave, we should be fine with that. And we're going to skip Crofty's little chat. So, the worst teams, officially, are going to be Haas. Oh wow, he reckons Haas are the worst? Well, I mean, if Haas is supposed to be the worst, we should probably start with them. Season objective 6, starting balance is low, long-term objective is to be on the podium. So, let's go. We shall have, of course, the immortal name of Team Principal, and we will disable first-time guidance, because we don't need that. It also hampers you for round 1. Spreadsheets, indeed! Alright, so a long-term goal is to make Mick Schumacher the world Drivers' Champion. That's clearly our overall goal with this. Okay. Check the inbox regularly. So, financially wise, we have a cost cap of 114. 140 million, of which we've already apparently spent 26, and we're predicted to spend 40. So we've got plenty of capacity to go and build things. So we're going to do that straight away. First, I'm going to do, although we only have 15 million spare right now, which is the problem, but we do want to definitely get some things built. Car park capacity up. No, let's actually go and upgrade the manufacturing speed. Manufacturing speed quality is going to be useful here, but actually we want better parts. So let's go for wind tunnel development. Sink a bunch of money into that we're never going to see again. 5 million remaining. And then let's go to operations and build ourselves a tour center, because this gives us a weekly income, and there's absolutely zero reason, as far as I can tell, to not just keep pumping that and building that up every time you have a chance to. It's also relatively cheap. Memorabilia room for some team attractiveness, which is basically getting staff on side, as well as morale. And I think that's fine for the rest of that right now. Staffing facilities, let's build ourselves a team hub for experience gain, make our people better faster, and let's build a race simulator as well. So there are plenty of budget spent initially from Haas just having no facilities apparently, which I know is not strictly true. Okay, that's our team. I don't think we want to mess around with that at the moment, but what we do want to do is start developing some parts. So, no current projects. Can I just see how my car currently is at the moment? Okay. Grid average, apparently. So we have a low top speed, low than average acceleration. Our low speed cornering's good, so maybe we should just focus on low speed cornering going forward from this, based on that. Yeah, so all our advantages on low speeds. So, hey, come Monaco, we should be golden. But that's not really going to help us at the moment, because it's Bahrain and... what's 2? I forget what 2 is. Might help us around Imola when we get to that. But anyway, let's design something new here. And I guess a new front wing. So we have limited hours for various periods of this. So, we do have wind tunnel hours as well, that's to say. So let's put a big investment into making a particularly good one. We are getting diminishing returns for increasing hours though, so let's just find the point we're getting our slight increase of that. So 58, being 32, can we get any more out of this? A little bit. Mostly on the airflow side of things, but that's fine. Honestly, what else are we going to be doing? We don't have that many engineers, I imagine, so we might even just go full send on this Yeah, let's just use all of it. Why not? Design focus. We obviously want to focus on low speed, but I think actually, I've tested this previously, and I think they have counterbalanced this, but you used to be able to just prioritize everything, and it would give you a sort of general +2 more. Hold on. Does that just... Have they not fixed this? I mean, to be fair, we can get some actual specific things, you know, that would be better for us, but honestly, yeah, let's just focus on everything. Why not? There we go. We have development focus on every single part of this. Although maybe... So if we underdo that... Okay, so this is the way it could be actually done. But it still feels like it would be okay for us to just focus on everything at the same rate. Because apparently putting neutral focus doesn't do anything, but putting it to everything to high focus makes it a general improvement on everything. But hey, our strength is in low speed, so we're going to keep going with that. We have 10 engineers available, so we're going to say 5, and we're going to... We might as well... Intensive development. Let's do that. But extra to optimize the design. Cost to be higher. You gain greater part experience bonus. Which improve future designs on it. Nah, we'll just go rush it. So 28 days, we'll get this done. And then, because we've still got 1.3, let's go and upgrade the underfloor. So obviously we've used all of our CFDs, but we can put some wind tunnel hours into this. And again, let's go low speed cornering focus here. Being reasonable and fair. And again, we can rush this to get it out in 42 days. Costs us a little more, but we got spare money at the moment, and honestly, getting good parts on the car as quickly as possible is probably going to be what we need. Manufacturing, we have enough spare parts of all of our base stuff, although apparently we're low on suspension for some reason. So that's fine. Car 1 is exactly as is. Okay. Good. Right. Sponsorship obligations. Okay, so our sponsorship obligation is that we need Ken Magnuson to do things. So performance rating will be reduced during the race weekend. Okay, so this will reduce one of our drivers' abilities, but it's probably fine. We get a reasonable amount of money out of that. Driver experience pause, but we get a fair amount out of that. So yeah, we could do again some more money here. So actually, this is fine. Can we tick both drivers here? Or is this? Oh no, this is just what we've got to do. Okay, fine. I don't have a choice in this for whatever reason. Fine. And we'll have a party for starting the thing off. 10,000 to improve some morale is probably okay. And hey, we now have a memorabilia room, so increase to morale and staff attractiveness, and we can probably go and upgrade that again. Although actually, we've got 70,000 in the bank right now, so we're already bankrupt. Let's go. Race Simulator Online, so that'll increase the experience point gains. Testing results, we are... Wait, I thought this was team... because I used to playing Alpha, I thought this was team-related, but actually this might just be overall position. I suppose if they're counting each car individually, but actually that's better than 4. We might be able to compete for points here. And the tour center's done, so that gets us a weekly bit of income, which we need to increase when we get paid. Right then, inbox. Okay, so performance targets. So we have a few that are just set for us by default, and if we achieve them, we just get money. But we can go and try to get some more. So we're going to see if we can get one of our drivers to reach Q3, which seems impossible, but we'll have a go at it anyway. Fastest lap, we don't care about... We're not going to get the fastest lap. We could go for a finishing position. Let's say both of our drivers finishing in the top 14 should be achievable. It probably won't be, but hey, get a little bit of cash out of doing that. And let's say we can have a 14th position. Well, we reckon they're both going to be in top 14, so we're going to stick with all our targets here. One of our drivers is going to finish in the top 13 for the next 3 races. And when that's done, 500,000. Okay. Race weekend. Bahrain, not a slow speed circuit, so we're probably not going to be optimally set up for this. And again, we're going to skip most of Crofty's bits. Okay. Expensive strategies, compoundings, that's fine. We don't care too much about the rest of that, actually, in truth. Alright. So, let's start fit the hard tyres, because there's no point in wasting those right this second. Increase the lap count to 22 for both of them. Just try and max out the number of runs. And let's see if we can adjust things. So, I'm going to aim roughly for the middle of most of these, at least initially, although, given that, limited stuff we can do. We tweak for sliders and nothing changes. Yeah, we'll go with that. It's not... not ideal, but, you know, as long as we can get some of these okay, might be alright. We can adjust the wing for a lot less time than it takes to adjust everything else, so I'm trying to get that correct first, or roughly these bits. Yeah, that looks better. Okay, we'll go with something like that. And, of course, every driver has slightly different requirements, so that is fun too. Well, we use what we know of how Mick wants to be set up to try and adjust. And I think we'll start with that. Again, we can adjust. We have multiple runs in practice to try and make this happen, so let's go.
Radio check, Kev. Radio's good.
And we'll follow Mick Schumacher around for a bit, and then we'll just go into the high speed. Because honestly, this isn't... it looks very nice, but, you know, we don't want to be concentrating on this, at least during the practice sessions. And, of course, we can speed that up to ×2, just to make it look a little more impressive. So, all hail the Brum Brums. Alright. So let's spin on to max speed and just let them effectively learn the track. So the percentages here are kind of percentage of track knowledge, percentage of car knowledge, which is all the new components and things, which apparently, despite the fact we did pre-season testing, apparently, they have no idea what these cars are like. And then the 1 of 5 is just the their opinions on how the car is set up in each of the 5 metrics we adjusted the bars for earlier. Once they have all 5, we can basically do a formal adjustment from there. The rest of it's as you'd expect, just basically much tyre wear, fuel remaining, the ERS, which we'll get into in the race because it's not really too relevant for practice at this point. And then various other bits. So we can look at the damage to the car, we can pit them in, and we can give the driver some things to do, like hold everybody up, which is, you know, probably what we're going to end up doing. So obviously we're doing things on the hard tyre, which does matter, at least in things, but we're not doing abysmally 13th, 16th on the hards. Just scroll down to here, 136 freeze, seems fine. And then we have the sort of a strategy page as well, which is basically how long a run is going to take, when we're going to get to things, etc. That being said, we're going to end both of these runs early once we get the knowledge. I just put the additional laps on there to make sure we did.
How's the balance?
Oh, and And Schumacher's got to 5 as well. So in we go. Alright, reconfigure. So, straights is incorrect. So we'll adjust that. You can only really adjust the straights with these, but also we had oversteer problems as well. We know the braking stability was optimal, so we'll try and force that to the right place. There we go. Traction was great though, so we might be better suited to try and make that happen in other methods. Yep, that seems good. Alright, so we can stay on the hard tires because they will last. We will just make sure the run plan is a couple of laps lower just to make sure of things. Confirm, and now we wait 4 minutes for them to fix that. So Schumacher had a 70% confidence, so his car is more optimally set up. Is still an adjustment to be made, so let's go and adjust the wings slightly. Wing adjustments can always be adjusted, you know, more easily because it takes less time. We'll try something like this. Okay. And I keep trying to not do that. Again, run plan, just reduce a lap, confirm, and off we go.
How is the balance?
Bit of a late radio message there.
That's okay. Yep, copy that.
So this round we'll probably just let them complete it because we're not going to have time to do anything more than just a quick adjustment. So yeah, the run plan pretty much takes them to the end of the allotted time anyway, so let's have them go out and do a thing. And hopefully we've made the car slightly better for them. The closer we get to everything being 100% in terms of the confidence, track knowledge, and car knowledge, the more bonuses they get to their stats effectively for race day, which is important. Because, you know... Oh, one of our... Alright, so he's made a mistake, and always have to be careful when they have made a mistake. Yep. That they haven't done any damage to the car that needs to be replaced. As much as we love Schumacher, he does tend to make mistakes a lot. But hey. Alright, that's twice. Oh no, that's Ocon. That's not us. That's fine. It's not us, we don't care. That we care a little about. Obviously, with the tyre wear going down as well, they're more prone to making those kind of mistakes, and it does affect their confidence when they make errors as well. So, yeah. A little bit of a compounding effect of them doing that. But again, as their confidence goes up, they should, in theory, do that less often. Although I don't know whether that's actually implemented in the game or if that's just my thoughts and processes on the matter. But hey, good news is it looks as if at neutral running, obviously... Let's go down to speed 2 a moment. Yeah, he's in traffic and probably has been for a while, so you have less fuel running behind another car, which, again, makes sense. You're drafting them. But obviously it doesn't give me a good indicator of their typical running rates, I guess.
Okay, how's the balance?
Okay, so he's happy with the car. We're going to keep him out because we're not going to have enough time to do any major adjustments in 8 minutes. And we might as well have him finish the run. Just gain a bit more track confidence.
Yeah, okay.
And we'll just do a little bit of high-speed chase scan for the moment. Alright, actually, that's...
Okay, understood. What's the situation?
Yeah, the tyres are gone, so we'll pull them in because we don't want to cause any problems if we can avoid it. But, hey, we get to do some high-speed following for a bit. Yeah, we will probably be running the race at times 2. Just as an FYI. But for now, we'll just leave that. Okay. So we can at least see what we can reconfigure with this. And apparently we made the car worse. Okay. So the main thing we're losing out on is the traction. So let's... Oh, that wasn't what I wanted to do. Put that back. So I guess we'll make that change and see how it is in session 3. Again, not too much point in doing this now because we can't get them out in time, but you know. Alright, 80%, so pretty good. The oversteer, though, is not ideal. Okay. So here is where we're going to have the tricky bit of just trying to keep everything as he wants it, but without affecting things a great deal here. So 2 clicks, and then just as much as I can getting these back into the optimal window. Yeah, so something like that is probably how we're going to do this. So as long as it remembers to save that between the 2 sessions, then it should be fine. I think it does. Alright, so second session we'll go out on the medium tyres and see a bit more representatively where we are, but we are most likely competing with these back with the Williams and the Aston Martins for this weekend. But hey, we promised 14th and 13th. These should be attainable, hopefully, if we use the right strategy. We won't. Okay. Continuing on to part 2. So this is the untested setup that I think I adjusted everything to, so that's fine. And that should be the untested setup we did from there as well. Right. Medium tires. Medium tires. And we want runs of 21 laps, just because we'd like them to finish and get all the information in one go. We can do 2 good runs most of the time here. The only exceptions, the only time we won't be able to do that is if there's rain. But obviously Bahrain is in the desert, so we're not too concerned about that at the moment. Right, practice 2.
Okay,
Out you go. Out you go. And now we watch the dots chase each other around the track for a bit. Hey, we were briefly on the we were briefly fastest. Didn't last. However, Max is 1.4 down, 1.8 down with us doing medium tire runs. Everybody else doing... Oh, okay. Ignore that fact. We're still terrible. Okay, maybe 14th was not the best thing to be promising at this point. Heck, Magnussen qualified P5 in the actual race of this, so, you know. Obviously, exaggerated stats, even though this is the official game. I imagine everything's more exaggerated. I do not believe that Red Bull are going to basically win the season halfway through. Although maybe they will. Who knows? Oh, spin.
I'm sorry about the spin.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Let's just make sure nothing has gone wrong with the car. Wheels apparently still fine, 70%. So he's spun, but he hasn't hit anything as far as we can tell, so fine.
Like a spin. We can take a look now. Right, watch this. There's Schumacher. And there it is.
I mean, that's quite an impressive low speed stop to nothing, but hey, okay. It's happened. We'll move on. That's what, 3 mistakes we've counted from him so far? Oh boy. It's fine. We will make him world champion. Will happen. Probably not this season. And yeah, Magnussen is picking up the track information better than Schumacher, at least for now.
How's your balance?
Yeah, call him in.
Car filled. Quite good. Understood.
And we can call Magnuson as well now. Okay. So, up to 74. And now the cornering's bad again. We do have the optimal overspeed level though, so that's fine. Unfortunately, can't make huge adjustments here. Let's go with that and... So I'm trying to stay optimal on the top bit here, but... Yes, it's better, but we haven't actually adjusted an awful lot. Okay, well... I can do that, I guess. And that allows me to get a little more in line with what I kind of want to do. Okay, so pretty much what we're going to be doing there. Alright, let's go softs, and let's reduce the lap times to 19. Okay, so we're going to have a full speed run then with Schumacher and see where our pace actually is. Hopefully. Alright, Magnuson. Yep, that's fine. We are going to pick a new tyre. 83, so pretty much minor tweaks required at this point. Let's go for a rear wing adjustment. Put that back into more or less optimal and see how that is. Alright, Mick, let's see what you can do. So, soft tyres, mainly a bit more fuel than you would otherwise want. Hopefully we're going to start seeing some lap time improvement here. 1.7 off the pace at the moment. Okay. 136.8, 136.1 for Magnuson. Okay, well... Well, we'll see. Also, he's stuck behind Albon, so that actually could be masking things there. It might be making him faster, actually, because he'd be able to use DRS and get a speed boost, but, you know. It's fine. Also, it's good for telling me how long the soft tyres are going to hold on for. Not that long, based on this thus far. Yep, Ricardo, not us, so we don't care too much. 136.3. 136.2. Let's just actually move to last lap. Can I see best laps?
And how was the grip and balance? The car was great. Totally different. Okay, understood. How's the balance?
Okay, both drivers reasonably happy with things. I'll leave them out there because there's not much point in worrying about that for 1-2 laps to go.
Less confidence in the rear. Okay, understood.
15th, 17th. There are concerns, but let's just see how this goes. Well, we knew this was going to be tricky. We were towards the end of this. Good news is, getting the track knowledge down, our setups aren't too bad.
Our race weekend.
Again, skip Crofty. Making Q2 and Q3 is going to be impossible, I think, but let's find out for sure. Okay, 86% confidence in the car, so that is pretty good. We can do a slight cornering adjustment here, and that should hopefully be all I need to do. In fact, all I'm going to do is just a few small adjustments, I think. Yeah, we'll stick with that. At 86, I'm pretty happy to just keep going with this. That being said, we've made this worse, so let's revert that back to optimal. And try the... I was going to say try the other way, but it's not really one that's working for us, is it? Well, we'll just do that one click and a slight adjustment to that to keep it optimal, I guess. $18 laps and new soft. Because we're not going to get through to the later stages of qualifying, you would think, I'm not too worried about saving soft tyres.
Radio check, Nick.
Alright, off they go. One thing you can't do, unlike Motorsport Manager, which bothers me sometimes, is you can't rotate this screen. This is just static image. Boo. The reason that's somewhat useful, especially for sort of the grid lanes things, is because you can judge who's still in the pits and who's not. So there's a couple of other reasons why you take it as well, but you know. Anyway, how are we lapping now that we're actually on these? 136.2, 135.9. So we're still 2 seconds off optimal. So I'm fairly certain we saw a 133 last time out, but you know, that's if that's our pace, that's our pace. But 10th and 14th, 10th and 13th would be fine. That would actually, if we finished 10th and 13th, we would get points, and also we would get our bonus checks, which is all we care about right now. First and 8th and 14th, we would not. Good news is, track knowledge is approaching maximum, so we've pretty much got this as optimized, I think, as we can do. Didn't get everything, unfortunately, from the setup, so we're just going to get the 3 bits of information that we kind of know about. Yeah, and apparently not the best, but it should be fine. Let's put on a new set of these. Let's increase the run plan to 17 laps and just send you straight back out, I guess.
Kev, how's the balance?
Yeah, so Magnussen, I'll have to check in his stats. There probably is a stat for this, but he's giving us feedback a lot more regularly with things, so... which is fine, but it doesn't really help Mick's side of the garage out that much. Yeah, geez. Okay, we just can't adjust this. We're going to have to stick with the 83, I think. Oh, did I not? I didn't increase mix ones. Okay, that's fine. So if anything, that's his slightly better...
How was the balance?
Alright, great. So Grace is 80 plus in terms of how they refer to it. So 80 plus is fine. I'm not going to go for anything major on this. I just want to get them up to part and track knowledge as high as possible, because that's the last bonus I can really get before qualifying. Well, the good news is we do seem to, at least on softs, be comfortably ahead of the two weakest teams, so that's something. Okay, track knowledge 100 and car knowledge getting up there. So hopefully in about 3 or 4 races time we'll actually have some decent or slightly better components going on the car, which of course, I know this game, they will just immediately break. New set of tyres and straight back out there, I think. Might as well get those extra percentage points if we can. Because, of course, car knowledge is something that's going to translate to next round as well, so... Okay, Max has spun... Oh, he's already coming in. But that's probably due to tyre wear.
Someone spun out.
See you back here.
Okay, so we're about 2 seconds off the pace with Schumacher. Not that much, well, not that much different with you. But hey, because of all the setup bonuses we got, they are getting stat increases. So, yay! You almost missed spreadsheets! Okay, qualifying. So, confidence is good. We actually have a better setup confidence thing there, so we'll revert that back. Okay, so we have 2 soft tyres. We're probably going to use both of these for this because I do not believe we're going to do much better than Q2. Okay, and we're going to send out Magnussen straight away, and then a few seconds later we'll send out Schumacher. Oh, we got another car coming out as well. So we'll follow you. May the numbers be good. Well, they're probably not going to be that good, but let's follow Schumacher around for his warm-up lap. Of course, Magnussen's the driver that's actually going to get a position if anybody is, but we were contracted to try and get both of these into Q2, so... So we need Schumi to show us some magic. And hope that nobody comes out of the garage right about now and causes us to have issues. Because this happens a lot. Yep! God darn you, sir! Who are you? Hold on. Darn you, Perez! Alright, so he's on a slow lap. So if we catch him at the wrong time, we're just gonna lose time. Oh well, it's fine. Schumacher's the one we need to worry about because we need both drivers in Q2. Oh yeah, info bars, there we go. So 27.6, 27.5 for Schumacher, so Magnussen was slowed. And that is probably not good for Schumacher there, but it's 2 tenths down on Magnussen. Might be okay. 23.8 and 133.3. So that seems okay. And good news is now we've ruined Perez's lap, so revenge has been had. Do I play Seagull Skylines? Occasionally, but I wouldn't say I'm pretty good at it, or that I play it that often. Okay, let's see how this is going. Unfortunately, it's looking like we've only beaten the cars we were expecting to beat here. Magnussen's done okay. Latifi doesn't beat us, and Vettel also doesn't beat us. Okay. So Mick Schumacher's just gone into the cutoff point. So, okay. One more lap to go. Right, so now we're going to do some timing here. We need to make sure that we have a last car out because that maximizes the amount of rubber on track and also minimizes the chance of us getting interfered with. Vettel, Stroll. Okay. Let's... Oh, good, darn it, I didn't reconfigure. Yeah, new set of softs, go. New set of softs, go. Well, we might have screwed this up. Let's see if they get round the track in time. Yep. Do you have another case of the moonbeams? Maybe. 30 seconds. 28. Start finish line is there. I think we got away with that. Vettel run wide. That's fine. Vettel was the lowest on the track anyway. Session is technically ended. Both drivers improving on lap on their first sector. Improvement in the second sector for both drivers. We need 4 tenths out of Schumacher, though. Let's watch him do it. Ah! Wasn't far off, but that is 16th place for Schumacher. Alright, Q2. What were our targets here? Oh, we only had to achieve 1. Okay, that's fine. We're not reaching Q3. But we at least we did achieve Q2 target. For some reason, I thought I put both cars there. That is fine. We need a driver to finish qualified 12th, apparently. So, well, let's see. We have 1 new set of softs left, so we've got 1 good run for this. We'll go with our scrub set to start with then. And we'll send Magnussen straight out.
Radio's good.
Alright, we've done a couple of show laps, so we'll just hope that we don't get screwed up here. Ricardo. Hamilton screwed us up, I think. Maybe I shouldn't just go immediately, but sometimes the timing works out well for that. 140, yeah, we're nowhere. Our lap was ruined by Hamilton. Alright. It's fine. It was a scrubbed set anyway. And we could go out once the track clears, actually. Yeah, let's go now. Let's just guarantee ourselves having a clear track. Those two will be pitting, so they're not going to get in our way. Alright, let's go. Alright, 9th. 9th off of that is pretty good. That might get us into Q3. But does it? Down to 10th. Still 10th! Q3. So we get 1 automatic set of tyres for this, and I think what we'll do is we'll just go out in the middle of the run rather than start and finish, because I don't expect us to beat 10th by very much, maybe a position or 2, so we're not going to worry about it.
Radio check. Radio's good.
We'll just wait for this first bunch of cars to finish their runs, and then we'll send out. So effectively waiting for Hamilton here. Okay, let's see if we can finish anywhere decent. I mean, that's P5. I mean, if this is going to follow real life, he needs to start 6th, which would be kind of ridiculous. Yellow flag. That didn't tell us why. Oh, okay. Well, fine. We weren't going to do much better than 10th anyway, so that's okay. Alright,
Here we are, folks. We're back for another day.
race day. So, reports then. So, expected strategies, soft start into medium soft or hard soft. Not a lot of difference between the hards and the softs in terms of running time, so that's why that's like that, I guess. And obviously we'll probably do something slightly different with Schumacher because he's back at the moment. So, alright, let's do some edits there. So if we start you on the harder tyre, have you go long. Can we actually do a one-stop? Kinda. One stop's possible, but it's going to rely on safety cars and things to make work. But, you know, this could be a thing. So if we go more sensibly, start on the wet tyres, of course. So start on hards and then medium run into soft run, which we can obviously go slightly harder on. So that's going to be 6 seconds faster, it reckons, just based objectively on things. Still, it's an alternate strategy, so that's fine. We are definitely starting on the harder tyre, so we'll set that up. Well, we only got one set of hards, that's why I have to keep doing the swap around. So we can go hard onto quick burst on the softs into quick burst on the mediums. We could even go a little earlier because we know the tyres will hold. Okay, so this is our fastest strategy, apparently, with Schumacher at the moment. So, heavy use of the hards, heavy use of softs, heavy use of mediums. It's going to stress the engine out a little, but you know what? That'll be fine. We can always get a new engine. Okay, so what else is strategy then? So, the default starting one here is to go soft, medium, soft. Seems a little dodgy to me. Honestly, these all seem a little dodgy to me, in truth. Yeah, that is much better. We're going to do this. In fact, let's set up the one-stop as well as an option here. Which is a lot faster, apparently. Although, admittedly, we're relying on something like a safety car or something that will allow us to conserve a bit of tyre wear. But I think, honestly, we do want to do this. Medium, hard, soft we'll go for. Just the last stint. Yeah. A second difference basically in this one. I think though we'll aim for the long. We'll aim long with Magnussen to see if we can make that work. Driver options, overtake to start, and driver options hard overtake to start. Okay, let's go racing.
The drivers are lined up tonight under mostly clear skies.
Those are clouds in the sky, sir.
Here we go with the Bahrain Grand Prix. And it's lights out and away we go.
And we are off. Crashed into turn 1. Not really. But hey, we lost the position at the start with Schumacher. Magnussen lost 2 positions at the start.
Aston Martin with a great play there. They've moved up a place.
Well done, you two. Okay, well, not much we can do about that. We are playing the strategy, though, a little bit. So let's actually see what people are on in terms of tyres here. almost everybody's on sauce. We're the only people who aren't. So, is that a good sign? Who knows? But it means that we're basically going to be going longer on this initial stint, but we're probably going to be slower initially. Especially if we make a 2-stop work. And obviously we're using the overtake ERS here. They use it throughout the track as it goes, but we're just telling them to use additional when you have a shot to overtake. So in this case, Magnussen able to use it to get ahead of Norris there. And put himself on the back of Zhou as well. We need to be within a second of the car in front at some point soon-ish, because that'll allow the DRS trains to start up, and yeah. Then we just need to moderate the gaps and make sure we're a second ahead of the car behind us and, you know, within a second of the car in front to start making forward progress. We also need to start conserving this again, because otherwise we will run out and then we just lose a lot of speed. Unfortunately, we are failing on that 1 second gap thing that I mentioned. So Zhou is probably just going to go straight past Magnussen at this point. Yeah, so he's faster in a straight line than us while he's got DRS, so yeah. And our car is not good in a straight line anyway. Our car is a slow speed, is better in slow speed corners. Unfortunately, you can't overtake in slow speed corners. As long as we stay with Zhou, though, hopefully we can just, you know, use him to speed us along. Improve our lap time and just generally keep in the hunt for points. Although Zhou is losing ground very quickly. And of course, we have all of these cars trying to overtake us as well. So we kind of need to stay with this. Yeah, if Zhou gets further than a second away from us, suddenly we're in trouble, and we just start falling backwards. Which is exactly what happened to Zhou here. He's lost a lot of time because he's no longer with the lead cars. Anyway, in the meanwhile, Schumacher's at the back of this, so both our cars kind of together on track. The difficult thing is, though, if we overtake him, we have to basically put a gap of a second up as fast as possible. And if we fail to do that, we're going to struggle. And basically have to spend a few turns building up our battery again. Kind of yours just tell him to deploy it everywhere, which will drain it very quickly, but will give him a lot of pace. But will it give him enough pace is the question. Also, we're just losing a lot of time behind Zhou right now, aren't we? 3.7 already. Yeah, I might have to try and force our way around him. Although, admittedly, they're going to stop before us, so this isn't affecting us too much. Might even be an idea for us to, with Schumacher at least, just go a little easy on things. Also, I mentioned fuel saving. We have a lot of fuel saved up now, so let's start forcing that out. See if we can build up. See if we can get past him, actually. Yellow flag, but that doesn't affect anything. It's really just somebody spinning off. It'll tell us about it in a moment. Yeah, Verstappen locks up, but that's not at all relevant to us. Also, we lost a lot of ground there. We're in little trouble here. Ocon not able to get past there. I also didn't take fuel out of the car before we started. Okay. So this is now the critical point. We've now overtaken. So we're going to deploy and go aggressive and see if we can break the 1 second gap. If we can, then we can pretty much just stay ahead of him. If we can't, he's going to overtake us again at the next chance. But here we go, 0.6. Problem is, this is the DRS bit, so he's faster here. And yeah, so this is the bit that matters. And we're already nearly out of battery. Go on, we can break this. 0.5. 0.6. Yep, so we drained everything, but we weren't able to make the gap up, so we're going to go back down to this here. Also, we used up all of our excess fuel immediately. Made the fastest lap of the race, so we did good effort made, but unfortunately, No advantage gained. And he is immediately past us because we are harvesting, so we're basically trying to build our battery back up rather than concentrate on racing. We may have to turn that mode off in a moment if we start losing ground to Zhao, though. Should be okay while we're in DRS range, though. Okay, I'm not happy that Ocon got past us, but okay. Not a problem. We're building up charge anyway a little bit, so it's expected that we're a little slower. Problem is, Ocon's probably going to be able to get away from us if he gets past Joe. Meanwhile, Schumacher did get himself a position, so well done there. Fortunately, he is in a bit of no man's land, which is why he's not able to build up fuel right now. But hey, he's got enough. And also, the battery's in a reasonable position here, so we're probably just going to set ourselves back up after this point. Again, we're expecting them to come in soon, so hopefully we'll be able to start pushing in a little bit. Okay, battery basically back to normal, so we can go back to normal. So hopefully thankfully we didn't lose the 1 second gap to the two in front of us. So we're still in this DRS terrain. They'll pull us along in terms of lap speed. And we can just relax at the moment. Save fuel, which happens naturally if you're in a train. And just build up. Meanwhile, Schumacher's by himself, which is not ideal because he can't save fuel. Also doesn't get the speed boost, but equally, nobody's coming up from behind him to overtake him right now. Also, if I check the strategy here, we can actually push him a little harder here because based on expected wear, his tyres are in better condition than expected. And in fact, it's because I'm supposed to be aggressively pushing him anyway. So let's see if we can get him a little closer to Ricciardo. We may have to actually just naturally save some fuel, which is a little annoying, but if we have to do it, we have to do it. And see if we can get on the back of Ricciardo and then, you know, maybe overtake him, gain a position. Who knows? I mean, honestly, with Schumacher tyre wear being better than expected, might even be able to just make him do a one-stop, which would obviously save us time from not having to stop again. In the meantime, we are being badly slowed up by this battle, I feel. Well, let's spin time on. What I do want to do is have a quick check on how the tyre wear situation is here. So obviously we're the only people on the high tyre wear, and apparently Zhou and Ocon are able to just hold the tyre wear right now. Although admittedly this would be because they used all of theirs up in practice and qualifying, whereas obviously the slower runners had a new set. So makes sense a little bit. It's just a little awkward for us, I guess. But our tyres aren't that much better than the tyres of the people we're fighting at the moment. Well, they've gone and swapped a position. That's not anything that particularly bothers us at this stage. As long as one of them doesn't get, you know, the 1 second gap, we just wait. Also, we need Schumacher to gain one more position because we are definitely contracted to try and get both our drivers in the top 14. Also, they seem to be dropping Magnussen a little bit, which I don't like. Okay, it shows back past Ocon. And yeah, I'm surprised they haven't pitted yet, but then if their tyres are brand new, then there's no reason for them to have pitted. I guess it just means that we probably should be trying to save a little bit on tyre wear, I guess. Yeah, we'll extend Schumacher's stint a little bit. We might put him back on the hard medium strategy. Even though it was officially slower, if we are only stopping the once and our tyre wear is better than expected, we might be able to make that work for us. Meanwhile, the two drivers in front of Magnussen just swapping back and forth. We're losing ground to Gasly and Alonso. And the DRS train continues its thing. On this basis, it's no different from... Oh, okay. So... Okay, they've pitted, so they're going to be on newer and faster tyres. Well, they'll be on... Well, it's technically a slower tyre, but as it's a brand new tyre, it should perform better than the old fastest tyre, if that makes sense. Also, we've got a yellow thing, but that's just a spin, so that's fine. Okay, so this is where our strategy kind of begins. Okay, we don't care about the leaders running wide. So now they've stopped. They're going to be faster at the moment. And this is now just it. Because he's no longer got Ocon to be his DRS buddy, we just sling past him immediately. And unfortunately, unless we get well a second, he will do exactly the same thing on his turn. But I imagine he's going to pit. Yeah. Okay, so our strategy now effectively begins now. And we're right behind the leaders, actually. In fact, if we can stay with them, they're going to be a lot faster than us, and we might be able to use them as a DRS train. So... let's see if we can stick with this. We'll burn a bit more fuel to see if we can make it happen. Of course, we don't lose time fighting the leaders, but if we can use DRS from Perez, then that's going to be a huge benefit to us. And give us a bit more of a chance of actually coming out in front of the cars we were racing earlier, so... Also of note, Alonso has not pitted yet.
I think there's been a lockup.
Yeah, we're just using the race lead. That looked like we crashed. I realise I'm running double speed, so things kind of happened there, but, you know. That looked like we crashed into him. And hey, we're staying within a second, so this is all to the good for us. We're just in the way, ruining Sainz's race. Exactly as we should be. Oh dear God, we got past. We are ruining the race. This was not the plan. The plan was to, you know... The plan was to use them ahead of us to give us more pace. The plan was not to get past them and do that. Okay, fine. Apparently, Magnussen thinks this is a race. Well, this has massively amused me. Okay, let's just have a look at... I didn't mean to pause. I was sort of had the hope that I wouldn't actually use the pause button at any point here. I think we're on for strategy B, you know. Which is what we were kind of doing anyway, so yeah, we're doing good for this.
Red Bull moved up.
Ah, finally. Okay, now this time, stay behind him, use him to slingshot us forward. Don't go... You immediately overtook him. Our car is not good in a straight line, apparently. Well, Magnussen's leading. We done it. We're winning. If both of us have one more pit stop to make, then technically speaking, we're fighting for the lead. Okay. Well, obviously, we are the lead car. Everybody else has got DRS behind us, and we're just slowing the entire pack of leaders down. Yeah, let's... Sorry. Yeah, Schumacher's ahead of the pace for that strategy and also for this strategy. So I think we're just gonna change the strat. Just gonna do this. Yeah, strategy A. Pit window in 7 laps. Pit window in 4 laps. All right, Perez is back ahead of us. All right, let's see if this happens again because it might.
Red Bull gained a place.
All right, point 4. There we go. Good. Now this time, stay behind him. I don't think I can order drivers to not overtake. All I can say is not fight teammate and hold back the cars behind, which, to be fair, he's doing a good job of by himself anyway. All right, point 8. So we might be losing another position here. Maybe. Yeah, there we go. This is fine. This is what I expected to happen immediately anyway. It's just, you know, circumstances happened. Also, where's Verstappen? Oh, he's in
Ferrari
5th.
just gained a place.
Yes, he did. We were totally fighting for that place as well. Alright, as long as we... ultimately, the important thing is we stay in DRS coverage here to keep our speed up, but we've now lost that 1 second gap. So we are going to push a little harder here. And deploy. See if we can actually stay in pace with Perez, but I think that's gone. He is MVP. So we're going to lose to Leclerc here, but hopefully now the job is stick behind him until we pit.
Ferrari advance the race position.
Of course, if we lose him, we're going to also have Verstappen behind us as well. But as long as we have DRS, we should be okay to just hopefully stick with Leclerc, who doesn't have DRS himself, so he's not getting any speed boosts from signs right now, which should help. That being said, we're already losing ground to him here. Do you have DRS? Yes, we do. This time we do. That might be our last usage of it, though.
Mercedes moved up a place.
Alright, so roughly how far ahead are we? I think the pit stop takes about... Yeah, pit window coming up soon. Okay, this is fine. Let's go deploy here and just try and make sure we stick with Leclerc. Good. Don't want to use up all of our battery up, but if we can stick with him for at least 2 more laps until we get into the middle of our pit window, this is what we want to do. I thought for half a moment there that was Sainz pitting, but... Okay, both drivers ahead of target, which is fine. We probably want to stop a little earlier than
Up on the track.
directly there, although admittingly every lap of awkward timing we have now will be one less we have to do on the hard tyre later. Again, I was kind of hoping for a safety car or something to just give us a bit of breathing space with these, but this is clearly the way we do it. One stop and go. Also, Alonso and... Oh, okay, Ocon and Joe are still fighting. I think we are far enough ahead of them that we will that we will actually clear them, which is nice. So last lap 138.4, they're doing 138.9s. So, yeah, we are... By staying with the leaders, we are actually lapping well enough to make it kind of work for us. And again, I think they might be stopping one more time. Okay, deploy, because I think this is going to be our last lap. No DRS, so he's broken the toe. And I think we are at the point of calling him in. Hard tyres then. So we should exit in 10th, which is fine. Not going to change the car parts. Get straight onto the hard tyre. We are boxing. Meanwhile, Schumacher has kind of been doing the same sort of thing, except with Russell. So, and obviously his fight is kind of Tsunoda, and apparently he's just actually fighting Russell. Good on you. Okay, I'm not sure it directly helps his strategy out at all, but you know. You know, well, ultimately he's trying to stay ahead of Ricciardo, which 24 seconds isn't quite enough. But I imagine that if they're going to keep back and forthing, then, you know, at the very least he'll be on fresher tyres when he comes out behind Ricciardo. So the battle for 14th could still be a thing. All right, Magnussen pits. Alright, hard tyres on, and he's going to come out behind Alonso and ahead of this group. Good. Okay, the good news is we're on the back of Alonso rather than on the back of Zhou and Ocon, so we did gain a good amount out of that. Let's actually use some fuel and try and just get onto the back of Alonso so that we are in this DRS. So that we are in this DRS train. But actually, they're just leaving us for dead, which is not great. Yeah, alright, well, something to be aware of. We do not want to lose ground and go into the freeway battle behind us, but that is a full second they just pulled out on us there. Although that might be because Alonso's fighting with Schumacher. Okay, well, good news is we can kind of use this. We'll tell them not to fight Magnussen, because again, they're not fighting for position here. They're doing their own things. And it is concerning that Gasly is closing on Magnussen, but again. So here it goes, and whoops, need to rebalance our fuel loads a little bit. But the good news is Schumacher should be on a faster tyre for the end of this race, so it's not impossible that he can make something happen. What tyres is Gasly on? He's on worn hards and he's faster than us. That is annoying. But again, hopefully they're pitting once more. So that's basically what we're banking on. We're banking on other drivers having to pit one more time. And our stint sort of behind the leaders, totally racing them legitimately. Just giving us the best shots of this. I think Schumacher can stay out a lap longer than his optimal lap here. Yeah, we're going to keep him out one more lap. Although he has lost the DRS train. Yeah, if he's lost the DRS train, maybe we do pit him there. Oh, no, he's still getting it. So full price is, for as long as he's sort of sticking with this pack that's keeping him up to speed, it's worth him staying out a bit more. So, one more lap maybe. But his tyres are going. Yeah, no DRS. Okay. Pit now, fresh mediums. And let's see what we can do. Also deploy some ERS, start using up some battery, see if we can stick with things a bit more. And obviously making sure our gap here... It looks good. I think we will get out ahead of Ricardo just about, but anything we can do to try and ensure that, we want to. Oh, and good news is that gap is not coming down. It's still staying around 2.5 seconds, so that's fine. Yellow flag, don't know. Oh, that might even be why, if Gasly was leading this pack. Okay. We'll keep an eye on Schumacher for now. Moment to just work out where Alonso ran wide. Good. Hasn't helped Magnussen catch up at all, but it's still good. 3.4 seconds. Are we going to get out in front of Tsunoda? We do. I wasn't expecting that to happen. Okay. So, Schumacher then in a battle with Tsunoda for the rest of the race. That is fine and acceptable. Okay. Magnussen on his own. Joe and Ocon chasing behind in a sort of no man's land here. 5 seconds back from Russell and not got the pace to catch him. But it is 2 points at the moment. So I guess our strategy kind of just depends on us staying on our tyre wear targets at the moment. So back to Schumacher, who has his own battle going on with Tsunoda here. So Tsunoda's on worn mediums, so he definitely is going to have to stop again. So I think we are ahead of him. We just have to obviously not burn up our tyres too much. But even if we are burning up our tyres a little bit, I think we'll still hold. The one thing I'm trying to note is he catching up on Gasly? And it looks as if he might be. Yeah, that's fine. Without somebody in front doing sort of a DRS pulling, these two should swap positions on a semi-regular basis. But I just want to see what lap times we're doing versus them at the moment. 38.6, so technically we were slower. Oh wait, no, Gasly. Yeah, 3/10. Okay, so we're a little faster than Gasly, but not enough to make a massive difference right this second. So that's fine. 6 seconds now, the gap. Magnussen back. I mean, yeah, he's just going to have a slow, lonely race and pick up 2 points. That is absolutely fine. That is what we expected. Better than expected, really. And our car's lack of definite front straight line speed kind of hurting us on the counter-attack, as I've noticed throughout most of this race thus far. But hey, we get to save some fuel back here, so as long as he's not going too slow for us, then that's fine. I mean, in truth, we're probably only looking to just leapfrog Gasly and Tsunoda anyway, in terms of last pit stops. And yeah, because of where the DRS positions are, there, and there, it's a little awkward for us to build up that 1 second gap. There's nowhere technical for us to do it. The next race, which I think is Jeddah, there is scope to try that. Oh dear. But enter the endless back and forth. It just feels like our ultimate top speed isn't there. Again, it's how it's simulating it, I guess, but he's going to have okay acceleration enough to at least get past him on that bit of it, but just not down the main straight. So that suggests ultimate top speed because of the way the corners kind of are, but anyway. This should get progressively easier as well, because his tyres are going to be worse than ours, and that's going to be comparatively worse as we go on. 8.5. Max just has no pace at the moment. I mean, obviously we're doing the important job, which is staying ahead of Zhou and just building that gap up a little bit, but just we're not going anywhere. If everybody has to pit, though, we are basically P6. But at this stage, nothing much I can really do from a management perspective. We're just waiting on other people to do things. And just, of course, making sure that mistakes don't creep in. I've mentioned mistakes. That was an error, but we've done it now.
Is that a new race position for Haas?
We're going to be hearing that a lot. Because these two are just trading positions every other lap. Well, since we're in sort of a stalemate position, we're just going to spin time on and make sure nothing too much happens on this one. Oh, Norris is pitted, so okay, it looks as if the pit stop phase has started back up again. That actually could be a reason to just stay with things.
That's a position gained for Alpha.
So Norris repitting onto the mediums. And, okay, leader's back in. So obviously we were fighting the leaders not that long ago. Where are they in comparison to us now? Probably miles up the road. But, you know. It was a good, enjoyable battle while we had it. Alonso and Russell in. So we'll get past them, obviously. But it's whether they can catch us up in the intervening time frame, I guess. But yeah, we should be ahead of Hamilton, Bottas as well, you would think. Whether we can stay ahead is another matter, because obviously they're going to be on fresher rubber, faster tyres, etc. But oh, Sonoda pits. Okay, so that confirms P13 minimum for us then. Hopefully. Perez pitting. He ruined our qualifying lap, so you know we have. Us holding us up, that's exactly what we wanted. And he's behind Sainz. So Sainz looking good for the win. Magnussen then 20... Oh, okay. That's because of pit stops. It's causing things to be a bit finicky. 12 seconds back on Bottas and Hamilton. Both of which you would assume have to pit again. I mean, they could try it. 15 laps. I'd probably be tempted to try it. But yeah, now unfortunately neither of our drivers have anything really to do. Not fighting anybody. Magnussen's still pulling away from Zhou on a semi-regular basis. 9-second gap back from Ricciardo, who I think is catching us a little, maybe? Probably not. Nope. So yeah, neither of our drivers have anything to do, so we're just going to spin time on for a bit and just see how things go after the pit stop phase. Magnussen up to P5. That might actually be... That's actually where he is. Yeah, that's a P5 on merit now. Question is, can he keep Russell behind him for the whole way and take 5th position? Would be kind of amazing if he could manage it, but definitely on fresh rubber, they should be faster. How's the strategy looking? We're a little above, but equally we're dipping below the point where we don't want to be anyway on both things, so we want to be a little better. Well, again, I don't think there's too much we can do here. We just have to wait and see if Hamilton closes the gap. Even if he does, P6, P7. Hopefully, once one of them gets past us, we can just DRS train and stay ahead of the other one. Hopefully. And of course, lap traffic. So if they have trouble getting past lap traffic, that might help us out a little bit as well. Schumacher's up to 10th. Ocon 2 seconds behind. And slightly closing. Okay, here we go then. Battle time. So, I should probably have been conserving my battery at various points in this race, but obviously, yeah. 9 laps to hold off seems a big ask. We are a little ahead of strategy. I could go and push a little bit and try and keep things off, but they're already now in DRS range. That's This is probably not going to be our thing here. We want to obviously stay ahead of Bottas as the absolute minimum for strategy purposes. But let's see how this goes. We're on the worst compounded tyre. They got a compound advantage and they got a car advantage. And they got DRS advantage. There's also 2 of them. Well, that's Russell ahead. And for whatever reason, we did not get DRS. So we might lose Russell here, which would be terrible. Because that pretty much confirms we cannot keep up with them. Push the wheel a little bit because we need to stay with Russell here. If we're going to have any hope of keeping Hamilton behind. Oh, we didn't get DRS.
Alfa Romeo just moved up a place.
I don't want to push for tyres. Tyres are the one thing we can't afford to push here. Running out of battery, but we are in range, so that is probably going to be good enough. Let's try harvesting.
Pass with an overtake.
Schumacher ahead of Zhao. Ah, Zhou's caught up. I knew that was going to happen probably, but you know. A little unfortunate. Okay, down to 7th. Not... Oh, no, wait a minute, wait a minute. No, darn it.
Mercedes moved up a place.
Okay, I don't... As much as I do want to harvest, I think we need to keep this up and stay with them. Otherwise, Bottas is going to be ahead of us as well. Meanwhile, Schumacher is in the Ocon Zhou the Ocon Zhou battle that Magnussen was in earlier in this race.
Seems to have been a lockup.
How are the tyres looking around that battle, actually? They're on soft, so they're on a faster tyre. But in theory, their advantage should fade. And as long as we stick with them, we should have a shot of being able to leapfrog them at the very end of this. Also, we need to rebalance here a little bit. Magnussen back in the middle of the Mercedes, which is where we want to be. Oh wow, Russell's just fallen off. Russell locked up. Ah, thanks for that. I completely missed that happen. Okay, so Russell's going to have to jump up the pack again, and we stay 6th. Perfect. Alright, you just have to stick with Hamilton. That's all you have to do. I've used up all the battery, and I can't afford to save any battery right now. But, yes! We can take P5 back. Perfect. Perfect! P5 is ours.
Pass with an overtake there.
Alright, that not unexpected. We know this is going to back and forth. As long as we stay in range, though, Magnussen can get 5 towards the end. 4 laps to go.
Position gained for Mercedes.
4 laps to go. Just got to stay with it. Stay with it, Magnussen. We believe in you. Russell's immediately on the... Yeah, Russell's coming. We do need to stay within DRS range, otherwise Russell will just destroy us. But, you know, his lockup might help us. His tyres should also be worse, so... Come on. Stay with it. Also, Schumacher's still in that battle. We'll worry about Schumacher battle in a little bit. We've been saving ERS a little bit on that one, so we do have the chance to push. There we go. Oh, that was not great. And I think the way that happened, we might be losing DRS range. Darn it. That is completely unfair driving, Lewis. That's not on. Alright. And Russell's at the 1 second point, so we might be falling back a couple of positions here. Come on, Bottas. Hold him up. Hold him up. Do it for the Ferrari powertrains. Also, Magnussen is now approaching the point where his tyres are going to start suffering. Schumacher's got a bit more in him, and he's actually ahead enough that I think Schumacher needs to start deploying. So if we can gap the 1 second, then that's going to be useful for us here. But I don't think we're going to gap him right now because we're just about to go into DRS range. Whoops. Wrong part of a track, but it was worth us considering the idea while we were 8 tenths up. I think that's because of a lapped car, actually, looking at things. Oh no, that's Gas. Gas is actually fighting us. This is now a 4-way battle for the last point. Eep. Okay. Unfortunately, Magnussen has lost out, which is a real shame because we fought very hard here. Our tyres are basically going though, so I think we might have to concede. Oh, god darn it. Come on, Shimi. You can earn some points. Points! Their tyres are still better than ours. That is really depressing. All right, we have spare fuel. Let's push. Let's push. Let's see. We got 2 laps left. We've not been lapped, so we will be joining the final lap on the same time as everyone else. So this is lap 56 starting now. So 2 laps. We have 2 laps additional fuel. We can use that. Get ahead. Yeah, that's fine. We'll go like and see. We lost the distance to Russell, so we don't have the ability to get any better than 8th. We'll just go and protect 8th. Schumacher, on the other hand, though, has the ability to fight for a point. Right, we're going to harvest on this lap. We're not going to gain additional thing here, but we don't want to be necessarily leading across the line. So we're going to harvest, try and build up some reserves, and then we're going to go all-out attack for the last lap. As long as we're at least 2 positions, we should be fine here. I'm just looking to try and maximize. Okay. Aggressive deploy, let's go. Okay, race is done. We have 1 more overtaking chance left.
And Sainz crosses the line first. He's taken the win.
Yes, we don't care about the winner. Oh, Max is locked out, but I think he's far enough ahead of Alonso. That's not going to matter. All right, come on.
Looks like there's been a lockup.
All right, Shimi into 10th. Give it the beans!
Okay, good job. You get back on it. Your pace was excellent.
Haas with an overtake there.
Give it the beans!
Checkered flag.
More points.
Good drive, mate. Load slow.
P10!
Checkered flag. Checkered flag. Yeah, that was great. Thank you.
Ah, double point score for Haas.
Kevin Magnussen showing us how it's done.
And again, we're going to skip Crofty. We always do. Alright, so a lot of progress still to be made there, but this is kind of leaning into my sort of assumption that the game is actually relatively easy. But hey, 5 points earned. Puts us 5th in the championship. We need to finish 6th overall as our target. Experience gains, and obviously we didn't use Fittipaldi. So we gained 3 million from our sponsor rewards, so excellent. I think we only missed 1 because I think I mentioned getting both drivers into one of the positions, or at least that was one of the targets. Team Hub has been finished. So that gives us a additional experience gain, additional team attractiveness, and additional morale. We have prior joining the team, so that's the new suspension stuff. So excellent, we have a better suspension. That's fine. Can work with that. Confidence is growing quite a bit from 1 result. And neither of our drivers, I think, have capacity to improve at the moment. So they'll build up development points as we go here. And then we'll see about replacing other drivers with other things. All right. Facilities then. Let's go and upgrade the tour center because it's relatively cheap to do and it is weekly income. Let's go and... Doesn't immediately get us anything. We could go for the weather thing because sooner or later that's going to matter. We have 3 million in reserve. We can't do any new projects. Maybe I'll just save up and build a better thing there. Could go for this actually. Race sim, just try and improve our drivers a little bit faster. But since this has more things, I guess we'll do this one. Additional money from the payouts, so we'll build a helipad. Okay. Onwards. So I think because of how long this is, I'm probably gonna do one more, and then we'll end the stream there. But let's see about race 2. So they want us to reach Q2. I'm gonna say qualifying position. 2 drivers in the top 14. Try and get ourselves a little bit there. We probably can reach Q3. We did last time anyway. Maybe we have a shot at doing that again. So we'll say that's fine. Not going to get a fastest lap. They want one of our drivers to finish 12th. That is fine. And we are currently on track to hit both of those. Okay. Actually, did we? Yeah, we did that last time. Why did I know it's not recording it as 1? We definitely did that last time. Bug reports. Alright. Saudi Arabia.
Formula One is back.
Okie day. So, obviously, car parts, nothing really new there. Just need to get this this sorted out. Okay. So we will go with something that looks a little like this, and honestly, you probably don't need to adjust the rest of that for the moment. With that, we will obviously increase the run plan to 21 laps. Yeah, obviously. Obviously. I mean, it's only a small reward, monetarily speaking, but, you know, technically we achieved that. Alright, we'll go with that to start with. 22, and make sure we're on the hard tires to start with. Okay. Manage. So, not even looking at weather because it's Saudi Arabia. And we send both drivers out to go and do the usual practice things. So we watch some dots spin around for a few minutes because I can't go faster than 16 speed. Yeah, so obviously we're on hard tires, but it's still depressing to be 2.5 seconds down. But alas, I just don't want to ruin a pair of hard tires. I don't want to ruin myself if I've got any chance of actually making it through the quali stages. Rather have the soft tires. Also, practice doesn't really matter, except for doing setup work.
How's the balance?
I mean, bad. Yeah, okay, that's fair. Ring me a 25% confidence in the car. Ouch. Okay. The only thing good is the oversteer setup, so let's double click the rear wing. Move attraction right the way up. Move. High car knowledge. I mean, it's another factor. I don't think it does, as far as I can work out. It's just a third factor that I need to be maximized to get all of the bonuses for. But all of the stat bonuses. So basically, performance bonus are the number of stat improvements I have based on the free stats up here. So based on car parts knowledge, track acclimation, and setup knowledge. So it's just about, if you get more of these up there, you get more stat bonuses, so your driver performs better in the race. Which, you know, isn't necessarily the best way to handle this sort of thing, but it's fine for what it does. Also, we can bring you in. And you can tell us how bad you found it. You hate the car as well. Why do you both hate the car?
Yeah, okay.
Alright, you don't hate it anywhere near as much, thankfully, but still. Okay, optimal point there. It's nice to have that immediately set up here. Alright, we're going to go one click down. We're going to set the traction way back. Move that there, and then adjust this here. So, only thing I will do is try and put as close to that optimal point as we can. Okay, I'm happy with that. Tires, still hard. Run plan is still the same. Go. I think the setup does have some impact on the track acclimation percentage, because Magnussen seems to be worse than Schumacher, which wasn't the case last time around. And obviously Schumacher's car was set up better, so there might be some parallels between things, but yeah, I hadn't really got into this at this point, but thankfully all of our components seem fine. It'd be bad if they weren't fine, actually, after one race, but we'll worry about that if we continue the series longer than these two races, I think. But hey, 22 races in the season, so at least 11 before we get to the end of the season. This will be a long one if I continue doing this. We might though. Who knows? Certainly more interesting than watching the F1 at the moment. But that's because I'm a Ferrari fan, as you might have gathered from both the Alfa Romeo run I did right at the start. Mention of doing that, and the fact that we went to Haas because Ferrari powered engines and things. Alright, that's better. Alright, let's pull you in now. We'll try a third setup while we can. Okay, great. So, looks like we need to kick the front wing back a couple of positions and then adjust the traction because that was an optimal position last time. Braking stability is way off though, so let's nudge that to there. Okay, we'll go with that. I mean, honestly, we're just trying to get this done, so off you go. And we'll most likely just end up using that setup as a baseline next thing. Competitor crash on track.
There's been a crash.
Okay, multiple car crash this time.
Sounds like there's been contact. Let's see what happens.
Let's have a look in practice.
Max Verstappen.
Yep, racing in practice. That's exactly what you want to do. Alright, out you go. Alright, Schumacher is showing 5 out of 5, but since we're late, we might as well just let him do his thing. Although, actually, the tyres are getting there, so yeah, call it in. Oh, dear, dear. Okay, well, we've got a third of our acclimation done, so that's fine.
I'll see you back here.
$131.2 is the target at the moment. And 72 is not bad. 72 we can live with. Right. Practice 2. Starting on the mediums, and let's see what we can adjust. So we need that brake stability to be moved. Unfortunately, we can't move it very far that way without doing some things. Okay, so a couple clicks there and then one click back there. Just trying to keep it roughly where it was. Yep, that should be fine. And again, run plan just up to 20 laps to make sure that he actually does it. We're still kind of testing this one out, so that's fine. We'll just do that as is. So the only thing we know about is the cornering is currently great from the incomplete practice, but that's fine. Yes, but obviously not during the last race. And obviously Schumacher being Schumacher, there probably are going to be some crashes involving him at some point. It's fine. We believe in Schumi. Okay, so what are we lapping at the moment? 133.8. Seems okay. While it's doing that, just chop up the soda. Where'd my driver's gone? Down there. Got it. Medium tires, admittingly, so we still have that loose justification for why we're so down the order. I mean, I could look here and find out that the other driver's doing that, but you know. Okay, great's fine. So that's 80 plus. 90. Okay, so let's do a couple of clicks back there, just because that looks as if it's going to be something that matters. And then let's try and adjust the traction back to optimal. Yep, we'll go with that. We can kind of stay on the same tyres here, but I'm going to reduce the run time. I guess it didn't save me any time, really. I should have just changed the tyres. Oh well. Alright, off you go. Yeah, for some reason the he's not getting as much track reclamation as Schumacher, but
We can help you with. Feels very good in the car.
Okay, understood.
alright, 86. So I think we are just going to do a couple of minor tweaks and just see if that actually makes things better or not. Yeah, honestly, we can just do that. And since we're only adjusting the wings, this takes a lot less time. So you can just go straight back out there. We might as well put him on the softs for the moment. See how long they run for. Unfortunately, even on the soft seas. I mean, 133 sixes. That's fine. He's just not beating. He's just not moving his. Not times that are moving him up the order, unfortunately. Alright, fine. We'll swap him out to softs and just finish the run on those. So, good to know. Mediums are not going to last forever. But one practice session left. Let's see if we're going to get Schumacher up to 100. Magnussen probably not, the way it's going at the moment. But we now have 100% car knowledge, so that's all of the bonuses from that until we add some new components on. And seems pretty good with the car. Whether that's a better score or not, or whether it's just another 80 plus score, we'll find out when we get back. But
It's mainly the fronts that are going off now.
Okay, understood, Nick.
let's try light and just see if we can make it to the end of that. If he can't, we can put him back in. So I don't want to really pit him with this to go. But equally, we don't want him to crash and suddenly we have components to replace. At the end, he didn't actually manage to get that anyway. Okay. Scrub a set of tires, go out there and see if we can get a lap or two just to finish that off. Yep, thank you. Oh no, we did get it finished. Okay. 87. Was he not in the 90s, or am I thinking of Magnussen? I might be thinking of Magnussen. Okay. 2 clicks back. I mean, honestly, we'll just do this and sort this out from there. Never fear, the chief complainer is here. Hurrah! Yeah, we did a lot of the first race at double speed just because of that. I probably won't do that. I probably won't do that for this race again, just because it takes a while. Oh, no. Can't I confirm? Tire issue. Yeah. Alright, fine. We're not going to send you out. We don't have time for it. Okay, fine. But yeah, we can absolutely follow the car at proper speed here. So if we just go into Magnussen's thing here. We can watch at double speed. Coffee? Real people? Why would you want to know how that feels? Review, driver's eye, and of course, nose view. And then, of course, cinematic. But you can only do this up to 2 times speed, and, you know, half a Grand Prix is still a really long time. So most of the time, for at least practice, we're just looking at this screen. Which, unfortunately, unlike Motorsport Manager, I can't spin around and do some things with. But hey. I am of the opinion that Motorsport Manager is probably a touch more difficult, but there's also a lot of features that it has that this doesn't. And again, that makes sense because obviously they've had development time on it a little bit, but you know, this is also licensed and they can't do other things. But anyway, it's still fine. I'm enjoying it.
Here we are, back for another day.
Okay. Hello, Rue. Yeah, I'd agree with that. But since Motorsport Manager refused to release an update that isn't a mobile game, this is what we got for the moment. Alright, soft tire run, 19 laps. 97% on the confidence side of things, so we just need to adjust the... They didn't save my adjustments. That is annoying. No, of course not. And of course, being official, it does have the niceties of that nature. Although I do have to mute Crofty every time he talks. Yeah, 95 is pretty good. I've got 3 optimal stats here, so it's literally just these. And I think that can be adjusted with just these. So let's do one tweak just to see if we can get that anywhere near 100. Increase the run plan to 18 laps. And okay, practice free. Out you go, out you go.
Okay, radio check again.
Right, now we'll see where we actually are in terms of time, hopefully. But of course, lap times in practice mean absolutely nothing. It's just as fast as we can go. 1:33.7. And I'm currently top of the timing sheet, so it's all good. It's all good. Ignore any future changes. Ignore future changes.
Latifi's out.
I vaguely remember that. Wasn't that ridiculously easy to win at, though? But
Let's have a look.
oh,
Now we see the Williams here.
bonk. Bonk. Okay, red flag. So, yeah. Nobody drivers are retired, can restart. Okay. So, yeah, we learned, I think, nothing from that, pretty much. So, we'll just sit on a new set of tires and say, fine.
Sounds like there's been a crash.
You're not letting me do the thing. Yeah, tires. That might be why. Okay. Yeah, so it actually didn't save any of my changes I made, which is annoying. Okay. What's invalid about this? Oh, run plan. Okay. Well, yeah, some of them were. I'm interested in it in a sort of vague way, but honestly, we'll see. Oh, for God's sake, stop crashing on this track. I know it's a horrible, horrible crash-heavy track, but geez. We're trying to finish up our setup here.
VSC.
Also, you don't call a VSE during a safety session. You just stop red flag it again. Why have we got a virtual safety car during this?
We've just had a crash on the track.
Well, hopefully Alonso won't be taking part in things. Can I race in Monaco? Eventually, I'll get to Monaco. This is the second race of the calendar, so this is Saudi Arabia, which is basically Monaco if you had really, 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 really long straights. And walls. In fact, let's actually just do a lap of Monaco with Schumacher. We will double the speed, though, just because we might as well. Also, this is we are in the racing speed now, so this is all fine. Also, they're both heading to the garage, so they're both coming in anyway. Oh well. You'll see a racing lap when we actually get to the proper race. Alonso also apparently was second fastest.
How's the balance?
I'm happy here.
Understood, Kev.
Are they not heading in the garage at this point, or is it just bugged in saying that they are?
Oh no, that feels really good.
Okay, understood.
This might just be bugged in just saying they are, even though they're not. Oh well. Not the middle school syndrome phase. fair. I mean, people who care about things and are obsessed about things are the best, in the main. You may not care about what they care about, but you like that they care that much, is my general view on that sort of thing. If that didn't make sense, I apologize. That's as good as I can do. Alright, let's revert that to the 87. That was our best setup. 96 is our best setup, so we'll stick with that. And yeah, we have 3 sets of boots for qualifying. Obviously don't want to put our reserve driver into the race. Especially not against Magnussen. Okay. Again, we're going to rather stupidly send out both our drivers immediately, even though last time this screwed us up. And we'll follow Magnussen for a lap of the track. So you can see this is Monaco with straights in the dark. And we'll do it at double speed because it looks slightly more impressive that way. Lot of technical twisty-turny stuff. Then long straight. With a technical twisty-turny stuff. You know, it only feels that way when you miss like that. Let's be honest about it. Absolutely. Correct attitude has been had. Basically, they're trying to warm up the tyres. It's something that they do on warm-up laps, and it's kind of just simulating that, because obviously officially licensed thing. Alright, so here we go. Proper lap then. Magnussen into the chicane. We will keep an eye on the timing screens, I think, if we can. Yep. And I've hit traffic! God darn it! God darn it. Okay, well, that's ruined both their laps because, unfortunately, they're going to get in the way. Because, unfortunately, well, in Formula 1 proper, you get penalised for getting in the way of people during your qualifying run. That doesn't happen at the moment. Oh, well. So we go top of the leaderboards with 131. Schumacher goes fastest, which is already a sign of exactly how the held-up thing works here. And then we're going to watch those times tumble down and be useless. So, okay. Laps shown. Let's just go back, spin to high speed, and we're going to see where we are in a little bit. This is where it would be nice if I could spin the camera around, because I need to know when everybody's left the garage. Mick Schumacher, so his son. He's currently driving for Haas F1. Okay, so we only have to get to above 16th, so we're going to take a little bit of a gamble here, I think, and not fit... Actually, we'll fit new tyres on Schumacher, because I'm fairly certain that Magnussen can do this. Though, I might end up regretting this decision in a moment, so you can go out and set new tyres. Magnussen, I'm fairly certain, can make this work, so he's going to stick to his current worn set. And then we're going to send people out as late as we can. And Davey was there to drive slow again. Absolutely. If we can impede Perez again, that is exactly what we want to do. Okay. Magnussen first. 2 seconds later, Schumacher. I mean, honestly, it's just drivers in the way, and obviously in the race, the teams tell people when people are coming up behind them, so, you know, it's not something that's usually a problem. Okay, so 12th and 14th means we move into the next round of qualifying. So, Q2. And thankfully, with a new set of tyres saved up, we shouldn't have a problem with that. As it turns out, Schumacher didn't need to use those. What we'll do is, in his first run, we'll send him out on the worn tyres and use the new tyres to do his second run on. Alright, qualifying 2. Yeah, I can hire drivers from other teams, so... So yeah, I can in theory go and do that. Haas doesn't have a lot of money. I'm watching you. I'm watching you people. Nobody came out in front of us. Perfect. We've already made our laps, and now we're going to screw up other people's qualifying laps. Yay! 130.6. That seems okay. At least until Leclerc does his lap. 6th and 9th currently, but Verstappen will go ahead of us. These three, maybe. Okay, so 13th and 9th after round 1. Alright, Schumacher on the new tyres, and Magnussen on new tyres. Alright, so again, we'll go out as late as possible and try to maximise things. Alright, Magnussen first. 4 seconds, Schumacher. Well, you need a good shoe to drive a Formula 1 car, I think. Maybe you don't. Who knows? Ah! Oh, we're out. Magnussen. Oh, Schumi. Oh, darn it. We're out in Q2. 12th and 15th to start the race then. To be fair, this is a high-speed circuit, and our car, as we already established, isn't quite up to code for that. Our advantage in the slow-speed corners, so unfortunately, that is all we can do for here. Okay. Strategy time. So let's, before we do this, what are the recommended strategies before we do this? We probably won't use either of them like last time. So expected strategies, hard, medium, or we do a soft into hard, medium. Again, probably not the best idea. We'd probably want to save a pit stop if we can. It's almost certainly going to be quicker, at least somewhat. Okay. So let's adjust here. So this is hard start, medium end. So which ones of these does it think is fastest? It thinks this one's slightly faster with the way it's currently worked out. And we can actually push a little bit on the... If we're pushing all the way on the hard tyre, we should be okay. There is a high possibility of a safety car around here. We saw all the crashes in practice. That is going to continue. So us being on a flexible strategy that allows us to go long, wait for the crash, and then pit at the right time means we probably do want to set up for a one stop and just have a set of softs ready. So that seems fine. I'm actually quite content to do this. Magnussen will start on the harder tyre and just go as long as we can, I think. So his strategy B versus... Yeah, again, so but they're about the same. 1 second difference, but... Planning should just go long, I think, at the moment, and see if we can make this work for ourselves. Also, forgot to set up the ERS and things. Okay.
It's almost time for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
Alright, we will of course watch at 2x speed because that makes things look better. Alright, Schumacher lost positions but is fighting back. Magnussen's in 13th, so he lost the position as well. Yay! We lost positions off the start. Perfect. Alright, let's also set our ERS up to overtake and do what we can to save the tyres. Alright, Magnussen in a train of cars. Schumacher still okay. Okay, this is all fine. The important thing is to not lose a gap of a second to anybody as we go. Also, what are people on? A mix of strategies this time. And that is overtake from Magnussen. Good. Has lost a little bit of ground to Alonso, but hopefully we'll make that back.
Is that a new race position for Haas?
Okay, we do need to actually push a little bit here because we are outside of a second to Alonso. So we need to make that gap up, be within a second, so when DRS activates, we actually can get advantage out of it. Especially as Norris behind us does have does have the gap to actually get that effect on us. 1.5. We're not pulling away here. We're also not closing. This is not good. 1.6. All of the energy usage. It's not working. Alright, let's save.
DRS enabled.
Alright, let's start harvesting. We ran out of energy here, but we can't catch Alonso, so we're now just going to have to fight the cars behind us for a bit. Also, I was pushing with Schumacher, not with... God damn it. Alright, fine. Darn it, if I was doing the right car, I could have actually possibly corrected this. Alright, now we're in trouble. Magnussen probably wants to push. Because again, if we're within that second, they're just going to get a speed boost on us in the main straight and overtake us. Which is currently just about happening, yep. And of course, Alonso is being pulled along by his DRS train, so our chances of catching him are basically slim. But actually, our train has caught up with them, so okay. Shenanigans are occurring. Maybe ran out of battery. 50 laps? Yep, that's the full race distance. The good news is, us being behind other cars means we will save a little bit on fuel. It also means we will be able to potentially just charge up. But Norris is losing ground to Alonso already. Come on, you're supposed to stick with them. Otherwise we just lose that whole gaggle of cars and then I'm stuck fighting you for the whole race. Drag reduction system. So if you're within a second at certain points of a track of the car in front of you, you're allowed to basically lower a flap in your rear wing, which gives you effectively a speed boost by reducing the amount of drag on the car. So it's a technical overtaking cheat, which can only be activated when at specific moments, which is all controlled electronically and whatever else. But, you know, it basically means that a 1 second gap matters a lot more, because if you can get beyond a second, they can't activate it. If you're within a second, then you can. It's only on specific straights on the track, and it's always predetermined on each particular race. But obviously, they create most of the main overtaking zones because cars are still kind of terrible at doing that. Basically, following other cars is a thing that Formula 1 car does not do very well. Okay. So, good news. This... Oh, okay. Nope. Norris is still doing things. It's to try and make it more interesting. Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, it's a thing in real life. Has been since, I think, 15 years now. It's just an overtaking aid because Formula 1 cars are so aerodynamically dependent that driving behind another car basically makes you slower. Because the air is hot, it's going through things, and it's not in a static, typical fashion, if you know what I mean. It's been disturbed by the car in front, which means your car is less effective following another car. This is especially true during high-speed corners, which is where a Formula 1 car generates most of its ability to create speed, is just cornering. So, yeah. Yeah, they can do about 220 miles an hour in a straight line. They could be made to go faster than that, but they typically don't, because by going only at 220 in a straight line means that along fast corners they can do about 200 miles an hour, which is ultimately going to be quicker than what most other cars can manage. They'd have to slow down a lot more to make the same sort of turns. But that's the kind of design philosophy around Formula 1 racing, and it basically means that trying to follow another Formula 1 car, you have less performance. Hence why drag reduction was put in place, so that it makes it easier for cars to overtake. But on some tracks and on some things, it makes things really too easy, and there is also the mechanically created excitement factor, which is a thing that most Formula 1 car fans do not like. But hey, advanced in aerodynamics basically stop for nobody. They've done a lot of changes this year to make it more sort of underflooring, so it's less affected by this, and it kind of is working. Cars can follow each other a bit better this year than they have previously, but they still need the DRS most of the time to overtake. Anyway, so 8 laps spinning on. As I said, we're in sort of a DRS train, so because all the cars are getting this benefit, it's basically pulling every other car along with it. So, yeah, it also means because both cars are getting the benefit of this, they can't actually overtake each other. The only position changes that happen is the car that leads the pack changes point by point. It does look fairly impressive, at least at the moment, with things going, but, you know. Yeah, absolutely. But of course, the romantics will look back on the days in the 80s and 90s when cars could follow and overtakes did happen, and, you know, one team tended to dominate the era massively. McLaren first, Williams second, Ferrari next. But, you know, there's always dominant cars, and whenever they change the rule, new dominant car appears. But it's just the way it goes. Anyway, our cars are in the back end of this now because we have a straight line speed deficit to a lot of the other cars, which makes their DRS more effective than ours effectively. But ultimately, our race is about going long and hoping, really. Unfortunately, it looks as if most of the other players are on the same sort of strategy as us. So, huzzah. We could try and let Schumacher go here. In theory, he's on the mediums and should be faster than Magnussen, but at the moment, he'd only get next step up on the DRS train. I don't think it's necessarily worth it. Also, annoyingly, Alonso and Zhou have now pulled out enough of a gap to actually break the DRS train a little bit, so now, yeah, they're going to pull away from us naturally as we just get stuck behind these slower cars. Okay, since Schumacher is stuck behind here, let's go harvesting and let's go light and let's try and build up some reserves a bit here. Might do the same with Magnussen as well if we can afford it. As long as we stay within a second, it's not going to lose us anything. Yep, catch you later, Bryce. The hope is, though, that we'll have more battery power to be able to attack and get past at the critical point. Which will be when the other drivers go in for pit stops, or when we decide to. Unfortunately, as you can see, we're already kind of losing ground trying to charge our batteries, so... Okay, drivers are pitting now, which is probably good for us. In theory, Alonso will be on faster tyres, but now he's no longer in our way. And obviously that affects the DRS trains that are going on as well.
Charge off.
Copy that.
All right, let's start being a bit more forceful here because we don't want to lose. We don't want to be gapped by a second. If we do, that's going to be quite bad for us. All right, Schumacher wants to get past. And does. Alright, Shumi in theory has better tyres, so he might be the better driver to be leading this at the moment. Let's find out. In the meantime, though, tyre wear rates seem good. How are we doing compared to strategy? Maxon's about on. Schumacher's got a bit of capacity based on the expected laps, so... we could try and push a little harder and see if we can force our way past. But unfortunately, unless we can make a second gap, once we do get past, it's not that beneficial to us because all we're doing is dragging the others back with us. That being said, Norris is starting to lose ground here, which is not great. We've had a crash on track. This might be changing things. It's only a yellow. Who's crashed?
Yellow there, yellow.
Alonso. That's good. He pitted ahead of us and crashed, so that is not going to improve his chances of staying ahead of us. It's another sector for yellow.
I think there's been a lockup.
Yeah, Alonso's car's not looking good. But as he's our rival and ahead of us, we don't care. Well, behind us now, so. Okay, approaching the pit window for Schumacher, apparently. Are we on the wrong strategy with you? Let's go another 3 laps at the moment. Alonso has pitted for new tyres. Currently only Stroll is behind him. And he's pitted again. So yeah, he's crashed and done things. Alonso is the GOAT. Well, arguably he's the GOAT in truth. On most metrics he isn't. But to be fair, so was Raikkonen. In their own sort of regards. It's just not going to L-Plan. Nah, it's a simulated game anyway. It'd be fine. If they simulated driver deaths in this game, then somebody is really, 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 really wrong. Because this is a fully licensed game. They wouldn't license the ability to potentially kill off Formula 1 drivers. And if they had, I don't know whether to feel positive or negative about that, but no, they wouldn't do that. Anyway, so we've extended Schumacher's strategy a little bit because his tyre wear is going okay. I mean, that's a different matter entirely, but you know. What it didn't do, though, is it didn't make a safety car. Which is the one thing we kind of need right now to help our strategy out. It's just for a safety car to appear at the right moment. Preferably after everybody else has pitted. And then we get basically a free pit stop because everybody else is slowed down under a safety car. So that's basically what we're hoping on for Schumacher, sure, especially for Magnussen. Because Magnussen is going as far into this race as we can go with him. But okay, Schumacher, let's go push. Let's see if we can actually get past and then pull out that gap. So if we can overtake into this turn, I think this is the ideal point to do it. So safety car slows, basically it's a pace car, so everybody else slows down to the pace car speed, but obviously you can still pit under these conditions, and since everyone's driving slower, you lose less time doing a pit stop because, you know, everybody else is driving at 100 miles an hour rather than 200 down the main straight, for example. So you can change tyres, put yourself onto a faster strategy, and lose less time for doing so. The real trick is to have everybody else do it, and then you are the only one who gets the time save from it. It can basically buy you as much as 10 seconds, depending on what the track is and how it's set up. You can't overtake under any conditions, and it's usually what happens is the safety car will basically let drivers go past it until it picks up the leader. So yeah, effectively yes. Okay, pit stops are happening. So our strategy has started off now here, and we have just overtaken. So we are going to try something with Schumacher now. We're going to try and be aggressive and just see if we can get that 1 second gap ahead of Tsunoda. Because if we can, that's going to break the DRS toe and sort ourselves out here. Hamilton right ahead of us. Unfortunately, he's too far ahead for us to get a benefit out of this, but we are pulling away. 1 second. Okay. As long as we're ahead, more than 1 second ahead of him at the various detection points, he will not get DRS, and Schumacher is home free. So he can drive at his own pace, his own speed, and isn't going to be dragging along the people behind him. Oh, we would love that sort of pit stop, not going to lie. Okay, so 1.3 seconds is good enough. That is fine. Magnussen kind of has done the same thing. We've drained the battery, but he's far enough ahead that we can charge. And also, it's Magnussen behind now, so... Also, well, I'm not sure quite what happened there, but Tsunoda's just lost all of his pace. So, we are fine with that. Okay. Yeah, but I wasn't even pushing with Magnussen especially, so... That is fine. Okay.
Try to do some lift and coast and then focus on apex speed. Cover.
Okay, so the good news about this is now that Magnussen is going to start getting the tow from Schumacher. So let's think about this. We're still ahead of strategy, actually. Let's extend it another lap. There's still a chance there'll be a crash now, which will benefit us, so... So, yeah, the cars have an energy recovery system, which is effectively a hybrid system, which they can use to generate additional power. Basically, as they brake, it charges the battery up, and they can obviously use that, deploy that to, you know, gain a bit more acceleration. So yeah, the battery thing is a genuine thing that exists in Formula 1. It's not something that's typically as obvious as, say, the DRS is, but it is something that when it fails on a car, you notice how much slower they're going. It's something like, on certain tracks, it's up to about 8 seconds a lap in terms of how they're using it. What about assault? No assault, just battery, sir. Okay, so Magnussen back ahead of Schumacher. Not necessarily ideal, but again, they're going to be DRS training each other a little bit, so we're okay with this. They can just passively use each other to gain a speed boost. Yeah, this happens. And also, Hamilton's pitted. That's just how much faster they are than us at this point. So, yeah, he's also, stopped once, which is about a 28-second time loss. So, if we take that into account, he's actually about 40 seconds ahead of us. That being said, our strategy has been and remains go as long as we can and see if we can take the benefit of that. Because, again, if there is a safety car or anything, then obviously... we comparatively gain time against all the people we were driving against earlier. But the problem with this is, obviously, we're on older tyres, which are obviously slower than the newer tyres people have put on. Okay. So, this is the lap that we were expecting to pit Schumacher. You can go one more lap. I don't know whether this is necessarily the best thing to be pushing this, but it is also speeding up Magnussen as well. Well... actually, not at this point, but, you know. They are speeding each other up a little bit, so... I don't know. Maybe I should try and delay it by 1. We could just retire the car. That is also an option. I want to leave it one more lap. Just give it that one more chance of... we'll give it one more chance, see if we can actually get a safety car this one lap. Because 978. Alright, we're going to go for one more lap. Pit onto the hard tyres. Halfway point of the race. So we spent the majority of the time on the faster tyre, which is quite nice. And obviously Magnussen can now pit at any point to get there. Magnussen's about to be freed, which will be... Well, actually, Magnussen's already ahead of Schumacher, so actually it's going to be Schumacher who's going to get freed. But, yeah. Annoyed that we haven't had that safety car happen, because now the other side of the coin happens. Now that we have stopped, if it happens now and everybody else needs one more to get to the end, that's not necessarily good for us. But, hey. We've taken our chances here. Schumacher into the pits. And he is going to come out quite a long way back, 15th place, but in range of Norris by himself. We were facing against Norris a while back, so actually that is not the worst, but okay. Norris and Tsunoda, basically where we were. We're not going to get 14th easily here, I don't think. We need something to happen for us, I think. Schumacher push on Buell because he needs to try and force things. Or at least stay within range. So since that many laps with that, I think we can actually push with Schumacher for the rest of this stint. So might as well go aggressive. Force things a little harder, see if we can actually make it as far as we need to go. And I think also on that basis we can push a little bit with Magnussen. Because those tyres have held on quite well. We're a little above target, so we can push a little harder here. If we're feeling really insane, we could even just try and extend the stint and go to a soft tyre. Actually, how likely is that? So we'd have to go to lap 37 in order to put on softs to the end, at least pushing on that. We could actually. Lap 30... Okay, so that's apparently slower. The white line thing. This, you mean? Schumacher's made a pit stop, so that's probably what that is. That's current lap. Obviously, that's for lappy. That's when the pit window was for his strategy. So, yeah, and the white line is just general tyre wear versus expected outcomes. So, as Magnussen is ahead of his tyre wear target, we can afford to push a little more. Also, Schumacher's doing things. Unfortunately, he's doing things to get himself into the lead of a pack, which is now going to chase him down with DRS, unless he can make the gap now. But that seems unlikely unless I force harder than I want to. So, we'll just see if he can manage it on his own merit. Also, we'll go back to standard for the moment, just because I'm conscious that while we are going faster, we're still kind of going to go out behind Mick Schumacher. So, yeah, this is not going to be a point scoring result like the last one, I don't think, the way it's going. Right, so if Schumacher's ahead at the end of this, we might be able to try something. Okay, he's ahead. I'm wondering if we can try and force it, but also I didn't mean to pause. I know I did, but okay, our tyres are better, but not that much better. We're all on hards. Hopefully they push a little too hard and we can make it the gap, but in the technical sections where we're faster, we're not faster by enough. I don't think there's a way of us to just ERS a way out of this. Yes. So it does tell us who has pitted. So Bottas hasn't pitted, Magnussen has, and we know from the start of the game what the general strategies were going to be. So they're either going to stop once or they're going to stop twice. But we, of course, don't know that immediately with anything. Okay, Magnussen enters the pit window for his strategy, which is absolutely fine. We're going to push a little bit of fuel. We don't want to push too much because he's got nobody in front of him, so he's not saving fuel at the moment. He is, however, about to be attacked by Gasly, so maybe that will happen in a moment. And yeah, you're running out of spare fuel as well.
That's a position gained for Alpha Towering.
Okay, Perez in the pits, so that's presumably the hard tyre runners that are now coming in. And Magnussen did lose position to Gasly. So the important thing now is to try and stay with it, if we can. Get the DRS advantage and use him to tow us along a bit more at a faster speed. But of course, you have to stay within a second to make sure that's happening. And it does look as if we're not quite there yet. We'll deploy, see if we can force it. We do have a DRS flap open, it is shown, so just going to have to waste some battery to make sure that happens. Again, I'm not actually trying to get ahead of him or stay ahead of him. I'm just trying to stay with him. Because this is the one we want to pit. So, pit options, medium tyres, pit this lap.
Box, Kevin, box.
Copy box.
Okay, also we have drivers behind us pitting as well, which is quite nice because we know we're going to be ahead of them. Also, yeah, I can change it here to know the pit stop. So Magnussen's the only driver not to have pitted at all. Tyres. Looks as if most people are probably going to the end. And Schumacher has pulled away from Tsunoda, so Schumacher's actually got himself clear into 12th, which is quite nice. Question is where Magnussen's going to actually appear after this one. Come on, good stop. Good stop. Apparently going at double speed. It didn't tell me how fast the stop was, but okay. Magnussen comes out behind Tsunoda by a second. That is actually fine. Hopefully on better tyres and newer tyres will catch him up. And then we can start clawing away ahead of that pack and catch up to Mick Schumacher, who only needs one more driver to make a pit stop to actually give us a point for this race, which would be nice. In fact, actually, let's deploy a little bit. We want to make sure within that 1 second gap if we can. Okay, he's into DRS range now, and he's going to close up. So, yep. Okay, that's all good. So now it's just a case of can Magnussen get ahead of these two, and is anybody else going to stop? Is Schumacher going to stay at 11th? Our target was 14th, so we are still on target. It's just, you know, points start at 10, so... And apparently, the earlier stop was the better strategy because Schumacher and Magnussen, before I made Schumacher's stop, they were on track together. So clearly, that was the faster way round rather than going long as I did. But in theory, now the benefit is Magnussen's tyres are much better than those around him. It's just a case of he needs to actually get past. And I think we can be a bit more aggressive than we have been. So let's do that. Aggressive push. Let's try and get past Norris and Tsunoda. Apparently before we even get to the DRS zone, which is a little impressive. the strategizing the driver doing, or generally speaking, there's varying levels of it, but most of the time the team are telling people what targets they should be hitting, or at least what they expect them to do. So they'll give target lap times. They have sort of onboard telemetry which tells them how far they are away, up or down on the expected lap times. Everything else is sort of feedback between driver and the engineering team, and then the engineering team and the banks and banks of computers back at the home base which are telling them the optimal times to do things. And in the case of Ferraris, they flip a coin and decide not to do it. But obviously some things the driver is the only one who really is going to be aware of things. Tyre wear, they know in general how it should go, but obviously they need driver feedback to confirm that what they expect is happening. A lot of the time, obviously they got monitors on fuel loads, they know what the speed is in each corner, they got lots of telemetry on every bit of electronic components in that car. So there's a lot of strategy that's going on, but ultimately it comes down to try and make the tyres last a bit longer, come in a bit sooner, try for an undercut, overcut, etc., which is pitting earlier, going to fresher tyres to gain a position by, you know, attacking on that lap where you've got fresh rubber while the opponent's still in the old rubber. Bits and pieces like that. But they all have a general plan and a map for what the fastest way around the track is, and then obviously on the day situations crop up which mean the map has to be adjusted somewhat. But a lot of it is, depending on the driver, of course, a lot of it is the team telling the driver how to do things. In the case of Ferrari, they asked the driver what the strategy should be. That was kind of embarrassing last week, but hey. Okay, Magnussen finally ahead of one of the two cars. And this is when we now want to start pushing a little more and see if we get that 1 second gap. So we're going to deploy and have a go at trying to break Tsunoda by a second. So gap up to 1.1. We want to add a little more just to be on the safe side, just in case Tsunoda's faster in the other bits of the track. But if we manage it, then all is good. 1.4, 1.5. I think 1.5 we should be safe. Interestingly now, he's coming up to Mick Schumacher. So Magnussen should be a lot faster than Mick Schumacher at this point. Largely because he's on better tyres, he's on newer tyres. So what we're going to do is we're going to give Schumacher the order to not fight his teammate. Because Magnussen... I mean, to be fair, we are a long way behind 10th. But Magnussen in 9 laps, it's not impossible. It's just unlikely. 5 seconds to make up in 9 laps. Plus an overtake, of course. Of course, now that we've told them not to fight, yeah, they will just get letting past, and then we will try and hold on. Okay, Magnussen versus Zhou. Last laps, 1:33.2 versus a 1:34. Okay, so last lap we gained 1.4 seconds. So we'll keep an eye on this and see how it goes. Obviously, we can't run at max fuel for a lot longer. We can for a little bit. But you save fuel running following another car, and he has no cars to follow right now. And I did run out of fuel the first time I did this race, so I am especially conscious of that. We did not get a safety car, which annoys me, but hey. And yeah, we're just miles faster than Schumacher at the moment. Okay, 1:34.6 versus a 1:34.0, so we gained half a second with that. It's not impossible, but it's not definite that we can get past him. If we get within a second, obviously we don't have DRS and we can make it work, but we have to get there. And I have to have enough battery to make sure that we can stay there as well, so I can't just expend the battery to get there and then have nothing. Also, just need to make doubly sure that our tyres are doing as expected. Yeah, so Mick Schumacher's tyres are actually wearing a little faster than expected. So we are probably just going to put him back to standard because he's not actually in a position. He can't keep up with Magnussen, and he's consistently ahead of Norris by a couple of seconds. So we'll have him ease off for a couple of laps and make sure the gap doesn't go too low. If we see that gap to Norris at 1.5, we'll probably put him back up to full speed. In the meantime, 3.2, 6 laps to go. 6/10 will get him in range if he can keep doing 6/10 every lap. We put him at high fuel for quite a while, and he's still at 1.2, which is surprising. I wonder if they fixed this. Maybe it was a bug before when I did this the first race, but I definitely ran out of fuel and I had to basically follow cars to save fuel. It was weird. Okay, 3.1. So again, we are consistently gaining 6/10. And again, we're on fresher, better tyres, so it should be okay here. We're obviously fastest through the slower speed section, which is the start of the lap. There he is. There's our target. Let's move to chase cab here. Hopefully we'll start seeing him in a little bit. Also, 1.6. So, yeah, as kind of mentioned, we were keeping half an eye on that for Schumacher's benefit. So now it's 1.6. We'll just make sure Schumacher's going full speed and see if he can stretch that gap up a bit more. All right, 2.4. And this is the part of a track where we should be fastest. 2.1, 4 to go. So 0.3, 0.6, 0.6, 0.6. Right in his tail, and then just DRS past him on the last lap. We hope. Yeah, he's faster than us through this sector a little bit, but not hopefully by enough. Maybe he's actually charging battery. Oh, we had a back marker, so he's now had DRS. Because you also get DRS off back markers, which hopefully we now have. Hopefully he's not going to stay in our way, because if he does, that's going to slow us up. He is in our way. Darn it. Okay. Let's deploy. We only have 3 laps left, so let's try and use our... We're going to have less battery to stay ahead of him, but we need to catch him. Sector 3, yellow. Apparently nothing. I know. Sonoda locked up. That's okay for us. That was somebody chasing Schumacher, and actually Schumacher's now back at the point where we can relax. 2.7 gap. Gap down to 2 seconds, but we're out of chargeable energy again. So we used all of that to basically get ourselves back to where we were a lap ago, and now we're going to be slower through this bit. But 1.7 is the gap.
4 laps remaining.
Alright, let's go back to cinematic for the moment. So we charge for half a lap, and then we attack for the remaining bit. 1.9. Okay, let's just go with a third of the battery at the moment. Schumacher's still 2.7, so nothing needs to worry about there. Alright, 2 laps, come on. Give it the beans. Full attack into this first sector, and then we'll see where we are. But obviously, as our tyres wear out, our tyre advantage gets lessened, so... 2 laps to go. But if we're within a second, we will have DRS, and we should get past him. The question is whether we can stay ahead of him, but that's a question for once we've done that. This is for points! Or at least a point. Okay, we should have DRS. We have DRS. Okay. Now we've got DRS, we don't need to worry about necessarily pushing as hard on the battery. Now we should just hopefully coast past him. And then it's a case of, what can we do for the last lap or two? Also, the leaders are behind us, so technically this is second from last lap. So again, we're going to deploy and try and break the DRS tow here. Thankfully, there's a back marker ahead of us, so we should hopefully get DRS off of them if we're close enough. Hence why using the battery to try and make sure of that is probably to our advantage. Of course, they all slow us up if they if that happens, but hey, there we go. That's good. We got DRS as well, actually. So no battery remaining, but we have the gap that we need. In fact, Show has had a nightmare trying to get past whichever one of Vettel or Stroll that was. So that should be safe. We're in second. So we're in 10th. What did I say, second? Yeah. Last lap. 10th position should be safe. Schumacher, 8.4 down. That's a back marker. Okay, so we finished 10th and 12th, assuming nothing goes wrong in this last lap.
And Sainz crosses the line first. He's taken the win.
Good for him. Not necessarily, but, you know, we had to fight, we had to, you know, abuse our battery a little bit to make sure that worked. There are consequences for that, which I hadn't really gone into because they don't really matter right this moment. But this does wear various components, and we only have limited numbers of these. Also, following cars as well makes everything hotter, so less effective. But yeah, 1 point for Magnussen.
Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, Kevin, you did an awesome job. Mode slow.
Ba-doom, ba-doom, ba-doom. Okay, so Drivers' Championship standings. Kevin Magnussen remains in 8th position with his now 5 points. And Alpine have overtaken us because they've had a better final position than us. So we've had an 8th and 2 10ths. They've got presumably a 7th at some point, which means they're ahead of us on priority. So yeah, we have a long battle with Alpine ahead of us. Experience points gained, including some stat bonuses. We did not use our reserve driver. And we earn some money from sponsors for various things that we promised we could do. Which we did. We missed on one thing, but I think that was the fastest lap, so yeah. Helipad built. Alright, Australian Grand Prix in 11 days. What's on the email thing? Helipad has been built, so we get additional 1% from each of our sponsor payouts, which is fine. Oh. Disappointed? Disappointed? I mean, we're supposed to finish as a team 6th, and I'm fairly certain we were probably 6th overall in that sort of position, but who knows. Alright, fine. That happens. Let's go to our facilities there and just see what we want to build up. So, we could do this as well. Upgrade the helipad, I think. Because, again, we want to get additional money from our sponsorship rewards. And with that much, I think we can actually upgrade the race simulator. 2 million still in reserve. Let's have a quick make sure we're not going anywhere near our budget cap. We're not. We've got 90 million that we can still spend. We don't have the money to spend it, but Monaco. All right, hold on. Let me find out when this is. Monaco is typically in May. So where are we? So we have Australia. We have Imola, Miami, Spain, Monaco. So if I'm doing 2 races a stream, which is probably the most I'm going to do because these are quite long, Monaco will be the first of our 2 races in 3 weeks' time if I continue to do this on Saturdays, which I might do. We'll find out. Also, somebody gained a point. So Magnussen gets a development point, so we're going to give him a point of control, which makes him less likely to lock up, spin, crash, run wide, etc. Mick Schumacher will also give him a point of... I mean, actually, our high smoothness rating is quite good. Again, I like being able to run tyres long. It gives you some things. Although it's not always the best strategy, running long, but I like having that as an option. These are just generally speed things. I mean, let's just emphasize his strength as a driver. I think that's the best way to go about things. At least for now. Okay. Let's move on. Okay, Tour Center has been upgraded, and as mentioned, Tour Center is basically free money, or at least it feels like free money. It ups our weekly income, so. I mean, if you wanted me to, I could do the Monaco Grand Prix in real time, but it would take an age, especially with all the practice sessions in real time as well. I am probably not doing the practice sessions in real time, regardless. Okay, monthly car development is fine. So this is where we currently are. So our number one car is currently ranked as 15th in high speed. So as mentioned, high speed is our weakness, and unfortunately you need high speed to overtake. But we are better at low speed cornering, so Monaco might actually be a good race for us. Helipad upgraded, and again, largely that's the thing. And also we have our first development part that is done. We put a lot of investment into this front wing. So let's now start a project. We want to manufacture it, and we will get one done in time, and we will want to spare. So if we speed up, we will have both. Okay, we'll go for this. So we're going to rush development and get both a new front wing for both drivers. Okay, now that we've done that, we need to start more development of pieces. So, so we have it on the floor currently in process. We could go for side pods and things to try and increase our actual speed here. Brake cooling seems quite low as well. Maybe I want to focus on that. Alright, what should I develop next? I could develop a new front wing even beyond what we've already done admittingly, which might be beneficial to us. But honestly, it's probably going to be chassis unless I can think of anything else. Quantity suspension. Apparently we're low on suspensions, so maybe I'll do that. Okay, we've used up all of our CFD hours, which is electronic wind tunneling. We also don't have any hours of actual wind tunnel use left, so this is just going to be a basic upgrade then. I guess on that basis, let's go for something that's less important. Side pods. Design focus. Let's go for... And if we go for optimized cooling, it does at least give everything slightly better stuff, and honestly that would be reasonable for us. So a slight increase to our medium speed, high speed cornering. Does increase our top speed a little, but by 0.1/10 of a kilometer an hour. No, 100th of a kilometer an hour. That's clearly going to make all the difference if we do this. Or I can just doubly focus and just go for that. Which buys us... Yeah, 600th kilometer an hour. That seems exactly like what we want. Overall top speed increase, though. So, yeah, we'll do this. We have 5 engineers, and we can... 36 days. If we, hold on, when's Monaco? That was 2 months away. So we can go intense, and we'll definitely have this ready for Monaco. And obviously, it means that our future side pod development will be improved. So I'm going to go for an intensive side pod setup here. And yeah, manufacturing rear wings is already... new front wings are already in progress. Okay. Facilities. Is there anything we can just buy randomly? I could build a hospitality ward since we have 5 million in the bank. Honestly, can we buy any car development upgrades actually? 7 million, 11 million. Okay, so we can't afford any of the car upgrade improvements at the moment. I don't really want to go into staffing at this stage. Maybe I should go for a weather center at some point, but you know. When's that going to be beneficial to us? All right, let's upgrade the helipad. Again, it's more money ultimately, so. Okay, we have manufactured new front wings. So let's just go and adjust that. So we go to change that to our H22 FW02. Install on car 1, install on car 2. Now, we only have one of each of those, so if they decide to crash now, we have a chance of losing this front wing and we have to build new ones. This is slightly annoying, but at least we got the design sorted out, so, you know, that'll be fine. Okay. I think I'm going to end it here. Obviously, the next race will be Australia, and we'll do that probably next week. So, thanks for joining us. This was a weird one. We're probably going to continue doing this. Aidan can once again complain at the strategy usage next week.